now listening to Next on Scene. Next on Scene is tomorrow's scene today. From up-and-coming products, designers, talent, musicians, celebrities, you name it, we want to showcase it. Are you next? Get Next on Scene with Jay-Z today. Welcome back, Next on Scene. Today I am so excited to have an awesome guest on the line from New Hampshire, but she does a ton of stuff in Boston, Amanda Hool, who is a parent strategist, which is so fascinating because we're going to talk more about how to take care of yourself when you have kids, right? And how to manage having kids, but also having a life for yourself. So we're going to have Amanda on very shortly, and we can't wait for you to learn more about parenting with a punch. Stay tuned, and we'll be back with Amanda. All right, everyone, I officially have Amanda Hool on the line, the parent strategist behind Parenting with a Punch. Hey, Amanda, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. I'm so glad to have you on and excited for you to share with our audience all about what a parent strategist is and how you fell into the world of parent strategy. So tell us how this all came about.
Yes, of course. So, my background, I have an undergraduate in psychology. I have a master's degree in dual general and special education with a specialization in early childhood. Um, I started off in working with children, with juvenile delinquent boys, actually, in a residential home. And then from there, started working with children on the autism spectrum as a one-to-one behavior therapist, both children nonverbal and verbal. And then I hailed to Brooklyn, New York in '08, where I actually ended up receiving my master's degree and started working um, with children as a one-to-one special education itinerant teacher, where I pushed into general education private preschool settings, and kiddos were they got services through the state. They had to fall 30% or below in two of the developmental domains. So one of them was social emotional development, which for me is like the total backbone and my belief system in working with children. And then most often they would get physical therapy or occupational therapy if they had like low muscle tone. Some kiddos would receive speech therapy, but these kids got these services from ages 3 to 5. Um, and I was responsible for their IEP meetings, writing their IEPs. I was the team leader for all of the communication amongst all service providers, the parents, the teachers, and then I relocated back to Greater Boston in New Hampshire, where I originally grew up. And I quickly learned that the services that were provided in New York did not exist here. Children stopped receiving services at age 3 through early intervention. And then pretty much anything after that, if children are struggling or need support, especially for kiddos that are diagnosed with ADHD or anxiety, and then general behavioral struggles, they are go through the school system, which does not give you any sort of one-to-one support whatsoever. So I have a lot of families that come to me and ask me to help them like navigate the system and getting support through the school. So that's pretty much how parenting with a punch came about. I've gone through a few different branding uh, as my business and myself has evolved over the years and having moved back to the area. So pretty much parenting strategist is I offer straightforward and nurturing strategies for parents and couples who want more. And the four pillars of my business are communicating effectively with both your children and your partner, owning your energy, mindset, and behavior, which really teaching parents to take responsibility for how their energy transcends into their children because they feed off of our energy. Huge. And redesigning discipline with a strong focus on positive reinforcement strategies in place of reprimands or negative reinforcement, which I personally do not believe in timeouts. And then the fourth, parenting on the same page. So with 100% teamwork. So really getting parents to understand child development and parent together as opposed to having different disciplinary styles.
Amazing. It's like all these little details like really piece together the big picture. People don't think about these little things. Like I'm fascinated to also hear later on more about like your timeout theory because you know,
Yes.
I actually have mixed feelings about that too because my parents were so split on it when I was growing up. Like my mom was like, "No, I don't think she deserves it." And my dad's like, "Yes, like she needs it." So, I actually if you don't mind me asking now, like what is your
Of
theory on all of
course.
that?
Well, so see, here's the thing. You cannot make a child feel better by making them feel worse first, right? So
Right.
when you put a child in timeout, you are making them feel like shit pretty much.
Yeah.
They immediately internalize, no, but it's real. They immediately internalize, okay, I'm bad, right?
Right.
So it sticks with them. And keep in mind, especially at a young age, children, their brains are developed 80% by the time they're aged 5. So, I mean, everything that they are exposed to and or around, and is being modeled for them sticks with them. And it becomes part of who they are, their personality, and really helps mold them into the adult that they are going to be 20 years later. So with timeouts, pretty much children, I'll go back to, so the social emotional development for me is the most important. Children need to be more, fully functional in order to like, handle relationships and friendships. And, if you think about it in that respect, if children, are having a hard time forming friendships or, feeling confident and having that independence, then how the hell are they going to do good in school? So
Right.
most of the time, parents, struggle with, oh, my child's doing, you know, he's having a hard time in school, and a lot of the times they don't typically like, think about how it correlates with their self-esteem, and it always comes back to the self-esteem. If a child is not doing well in school, then something is going on. There's a deeper meaning. They don't believe in themselves. They have a hard time communicating that it's hard, and they don't know how to say it because they're afraid that they'll get in trouble because they're getting bad grades. I mean, this is just one example, but yeah, so
But
with
it's all
timeouts,
relatable. It's all relatable
it's
stuff
all
that all makes
relatable.
sense.
Yes,
Right. Absolutely.
yes.
Fascinating. Thank you. That was very insightful.
You're welcome.
So, I was going to say, like, what is a common thread you find, especially with working both individually with the parents and the kids, that seems to be that missing piece that keeps the family harmony consistent? So, what is your
Well,
theory of some, or people that you've worked with? What is something that comes up that's very common with this?
yeah, I mean, definitely pretty much like the four pillars that I discussed in my business, but I would say out of all those four, the number one is communication. There's
Right.
always a communication barrier um, when children are struggling or the parents are struggling and they're not really, parenting on the same page, and children are emitting behaviors and there's frustration and parents are wanting to pull their hair out. So when they get basically have a better line of communication, everything, on top of obviously the other pieces that come into it, seem to just truly like help
Right. No, it's
immensely. And
seriously,
that's
it's
when
true
you
though.
start to see, yeah, like that's when you start to see the healthy, happy, like thriving family.
Right. No, I love that. That's so key. I feel like communication is so key with any relationship in
Yes,
general.
100.
Yeah. No, it's true. So, can you actually give an example of a scenario of a family you had worked with and how that the communication worked itself out with your help?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm trying to think of one
I know I
most
put you on
recent
the
one
spot,
that
but
came
that's what
to me
makes it
in
more
oh
exciting.
no, you're totally fine. Lord knows I have plenty of stories.
I'm
It's just
sure.
choosing one, really.
Yeah.
Um, I would definitely say um, one family that I am currently thinking of is they had a so they each had their own parenting style, right? Like they weren't necessarily in agreement with discipline and how they wanted to discipline their child. So, for instance, mom would not necessarily agree with the timeouts. And she would sort of like redirect the child and, communicate to the child, I know you're upset right now. It's okay to be upset. We have to learn how to use our words and say, like, I'm upset right now. I need space. And mom would do that. And then there would be other instances where dad would put the child in a timeout. And I it was so evidence to me, like you could see it in the child's face that they felt so defeated, um, because their parents were not handling the behaviors consistently. They
Right.
were not on the same page. So that's going to be confusing for a child. If one parent is disciplining one way and then the other parent is disciplining the other way, then they become confused on what's to be expected and what they're supposed to do or how they're supposed to act, quote unquote,
No, it's
on like
so
a daily
true.
basis.
It's true, especially because you were
So,
saying when kids are young, it's all about the consistency and creating that structure, right?
right. Yep.
Yeah.
And kids, they really like, they need to see their parents on the same page because you're their world, you're their everything. Like, they love you so much, and obviously they know that, that their parents love them so much, but it can get very confusing when they don't see that their parents are working together and they don't see that like love and harmony, and it really can go a long way when you have the opposite.
Right.
And you have parents that are like working together and like communicating, you know, with the child in the same way and using the same verbatim language. And, a lot of it was really just educating both parents together and like letting them have their each their time to talk and sort of like discuss, how they feel they want to parent, and then just again like educating them about child development and the whole self-esteem and wanting to create that happier, more independent child, um, with you know making them feel more confident and not using reprimands or negative reinforcement by punishment. Then that's when you see the self-esteem soar, and then of course that's going to fold over into the parent-child relationship. There's going to be more harmony, and then the parents are going to be getting along more.
Right. It's so
They're
true.
not,
So
it's
that,
not going to
right,
be as much
everything
fighting.
becomes aligned. Right. No, that's really
Exactly.
insightful. It's so true. So, I mean, yeah, back to the beginning, but communication is so important.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so we know Valentine's Day is 2 days away. So let's totally talk about this topic with parents and
Yes.
kids. So, what
Hmm.
is your theory? Like, how do you find a happy medium with making the kids happy, but also getting, your alone time with the parents? What is your advice for all of the above?
Well, I think, I hear this all the time. Um, and I know it's hard. I understand that the balance can be difficult and you're juggling a lot. But I often hear that parents, um, usually more so the moms, but it depends. It depends on the dads too. But they feel that their children come first before their partner. And this is where the number one mistake happens when you put your children first before your relationship. And any professional, relationship therapist, family therapist will tell you that in order to have a healthy, happy, thriving family, that you have to put your relationship first because you can't pour from an empty cup. So, really working on putting your partner first and having that me time with each other, um, is really important. And of course, with Valentine's Day here, um, I would, for families obviously that might not have somebody that could, watch the kids, or I mean, it could be simple as when the kids go to bed, just literally taking like 15 minutes in bed, or if it's downstairs, wherever it is, and just like talk. And you don't necessarily have to talk about work, because a lot of us don't necessarily want to, or care about having that discussion about how their day was necessarily with work, but have that open communication about like just life, like each other, give each other a compliment, say something nice,
Right.
that really like helps set tone for just like more open communication. um and this is another one that is kind of taboo, and it's whether or not I should or shouldn't be saying it, is you need to have sex.
Right.
Sex is also such a huge, important piece of the relationship. And again, I, I do have to have this conversation with some of my families, because a lot of the times it is so evident to me that there is like that their relationship is failing. It's they're struggling so hard, um, and it's just, that's just the reality of it.
Right.
So it's really trying to like help the parents to like find themselves again in each other, and really like putting themselves first, so they can be on the same page and just like bring back that harmony.
So would you recommend like the standard date night still once a week? Like what do you normally
Yes.
tell the parents you work with? I'm fascinated for you to tell our audience.
Yeah, I pretty much tell them, it doesn't necessarily have to be once a week. Obviously, depending on, you know, their network of people, and whether or not they have family or friends or babysitters that they can get, but at least once every other week. So at least twice a month. You each get to pick, something that would be fun for you. It can be something simple, could maybe, and I also encourage, try and do something that you maybe haven't done together, or try and go back to, something that something that you used to do when you first started dating prior to children. Something that will like take you back to the spark and the fun that you had together as a couple prior to children. But it really is so important that you carve out that time for for the me time in the relationship,
I love
because
it. I
your
love
children
it.
will see it. Yeah.
And then what do you recommend obviously for kids? Like what should the parents do with their kids too to make it, happy time for everybody when they before they get their own time?
Yeah, I mean, I tell a lot of my families, I've had quite a few, they literally, because I've had kiddos that not necessarily diagnosed, because of course they're young, they're toddler age, but they'll get anxiety, and they'll get upset like when mom or dad leaves. And it's really just communicating to the parents and encouraging them that they might be upset at first, but they will get over it.
Right. Right. It's the
And
initial first like half hour
it's the
probably.
initial first. Some kids obviously they might get upset for 10 minutes, some might get upset for half an hour, but then eventually they get over it. But it's really healthy for them to see, um, because then you're also helping create that divide with separation anxiety with the child and the parent.
That's true too,
Um,
right? Good
so
points.
it's just a simple like, hey, mommy and daddy need to go out. We're just going, and you can say you can say anything. You can say that you're going to see a friend, or it's not. You don't necessarily have to explain to them exactly where it is that you're going, or you just say that you need mommy and daddy time. So when we come home, we can be happy, and we'll see you when we get home, and you can. I mean, there's so much that you can do to like help with children with transitions. Like there's books that you can read. There's just so much. I mean, you can print out a visual, or even just have like a picture of mommy or daddy. I've had clients that have like used that, and they'll just like hold it with them when the parents are gone. and that helps because that just creates that like safety
Right. These
and
were
that
great
comfort.
tips, Amanda. I love it. Very insightful. Seriously,
You're
because people
welcome.
don't think about these things. And I do totally like, I'm not at the, I don't have kids yet myself, but like just seeing even my older
Right.
siblings that have really young ones and, stuff like that, that I've actually seen from their perspective, like struggles that they've dealt with. So it's very relatable.
Yes.
Good stuff. So they also just, they have to hire you, right? To get to know like the
Yeah.
dig deep into Amanda parenting with a punch strategies. So that
Yeah.
would be important.
It's just absolutely, and it. Parents aren't. There's no manual, right? And it's not unless you have that background or it comes like that natural to you. You're not going to naturally think about these things, and that's okay. It doesn't make you a bad parent. It's just when there's support and there's resources out there, I just strongly encourage parents to do it because it could totally save your life.
Right, right. No, awesome stuff. So we're going to play a quick little game time. So people get to know Amanda a little better, but also know your thought process on like things parents should have with them on the go, like little fun stuff like
Yeah.
that. There's no pressure in terms of like time limit of when to answer the question. You can answer them however you want. This is just how people can get to know Amanda a little better. So,
Okay.
first question: what is something that a parent should have on them at all times? Obviously, I know your demographics, mostly families you work with are kids from 2 to 6. So what should parents have with them at all times if they have kids around that age?
I would say a favorite toy or stuffed animal.
Really? Okay, so why stuffed animal?
Yep. Well, the stuffed animal, I mean, it's a lot of kids. Well, I guess it depends on the families, obviously, and whether or not they kind of try and promote that. But it's a safety. It's a the children feel comfortable if they're, in an environment where they may not, know very well, or it helps children with transition, whether or not they struggle with it or not. Sometimes you don't know until you're in it.
Right. That's a good point.
Sometimes you're out in public or, you're going somewhere different and you could be a new parent and it could be like the first time that you're experiencing, going to like the dentist or something, for example, and just having something that can make that child like feel comfortable and feel
Right.
safe. Um, really, really helps.
No, it's so truthful. Good facts. I'm a stuffed animal person. I always had mine growing up with me at all times, so I
So
can
did
attest to
I.
that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to get to know Amanda personally a little better. So, what is something you have to do in your daily routine every day?
Exercise, whether or not it is going to the gym, yoga, or even just 50 squats a day. I do my
50
best to
squats. Wait,
implement.
so repeat what you said again. It was a little fuzzy. So what you had to work out, but what were the things you do in your workout?
I do high intensity interval workouts at my gym. I also do power yoga.
That's
And then
awesome. What's power yoga?
it is so my gym specifically does Baptiste yoga, which is pretty much it's free flowing. So it's not like your 26 positions of yoga where you're like in the position for 30 seconds or a minute at a time. You're constantly flowing throughout. So like you're moving
So you're
through
sweating
your
basically. You're
practice.
sweating a ton.
Oh yeah, and it's heated.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, and
No,
it's
that's
heated with a
awesome.
fireplace.
That's
Yes.
awesome. Good for you. I totally have to agree with you. I work out more now than I ever have, and I feel like it's very therapeutic. Right?
Yes.
Would you agree with that?
Yes,
Yeah,
and
it's like you
it's
release all the
well
shit that you've dealt with all day.
150. Yes,
Yeah.
150%.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, it's true. I love that. So if you were stranded on a desert island, what would be the one item that you would bring with you and why? Figure your dog Brooklyn would
This
already be there.
Oh yes. That, this is going to sound so silly, but especially after just coming back from like an exotic island and being like so carefree, I would say either my pillow, like super like my pillow that is like my world. It is so comfortable. It helps your sleep, your neck positioning, everything, or a water bottle, honestly.
Yeah, but
that
you'd
you could
have
catch
water
any.
because you'd be on the water. So we'll go with pillow.
But the ocean, though, you can't drink ocean water, can
That's
you?
a good point. I don't know.
I I
Cool fact of the
I
day. We'll
I
have to
feel
look
like
it
the
up after
salt.
we chat. I don't know.
Yeah, the salt make the salt may make it more. But yeah, on probably a pillow, or it would be a water bottle to catch the water when it's raining.
Yeah.
Because that's you need water to survive.
I love your creativity there. That is creative. That's hysterical. I really like the pillow thing though too. I am so anal about pillows. Like they have to be comfortable.
I,
I hate the super soft ones. I'm sorry if you like them.
yes,
I just
no,
can't.
it doesn't work. It
Yeah.
doesn't give you any like any protection. Nothing.
No, it's so true. I love that. Oh my god, great answers. Bravo. I love the rain catching water bottle. That's hysterical. That's awesome. So, okay, since you love working out though, what is your guilty pleasure of food? What is something that you would have to like your favorite food of all time?
My favorite food, the New York pizza
Oh, good one.
or Italian food is my
Italian
weakness.
food. Well, I consider pizza kind of Italian food, right? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
On
The
some level.
good Italian spots in New York for sure, especially Brooklyn. Yes,
Yeah.
hands down the best.
No, that's so awesome. So, being from New Hampshire and living in New York, it's totally different lifestyles, right?
Oh yes, it's a total culture shock.
Yeah.
Being in New Hampshire as opposed to being in Brooklyn. Yes,
Well, there's
for
just so
sure.
much going on well, now with all the renovations and stuff, but I mean, it's just fast paced down there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're in the city. There's a lot of diversity. Unfortunately, where I'm located in southern New Hampshire, there's not much diversity. I'm somebody that craves culture and diversity and just
That's why you come to
I'm a
Boston
big
and you
girl at
travel to New
heart.
York, right? You still do all the traveling. You're on the boat to
Yes,
diversity.
I am, and
Yeah.
I'm in the process of moving back to the city. So,
Which is very exciting.
yes.
All good things. So, before we close out, I do want for you to share with our audience about your amazing trip you just had that we just had a little sneak peek of you discussing. But tell us about your experience in Bali, please.
Oh, um, Bali was I can't one word transformational. I attended a women's retreat for 5 days, which basically consisted of just like heart-centered work. Really tapping into um, yourself and your own energy and mindset through a lot of meditation, um, a little bit of yoga, and then, and of course, how you apply that into your business. Because even though my strategy and my approach is straightforward, um, families quickly learn that I was given a gift to do the work that I do. Children just immediately take to me, and I'm really able to get through to parents in order to teach them everything that they need to know in order to help them get the results that they want. Um, so that for me
Was
was really
powerful.
beautiful to just,
Yeah.
yeah, it was super super powerful to be able to just and and then after that I pretty much just took like 6 days to myself, and one of the other women from the retreat ended up joining me for a few nights. But you know what it is? I It's such a sacred, holy land.
How far was
Whether or
it by
not you
flight?
20 over 24 hours.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Really, yeah, really long flight. But yeah, it's just the energy there. Again, with it being such like a holy sacred ground, whether or not, you believe in a higher power or you're spiritual, or you could just feel it. And the people, um, because they have such respect for their culture and their land and their people, um, it's just it you can just feel it. So that alone, and the food. Oh my gosh, the food! Like it. almost every single meal that I had, especially on the retreat and where we went, because we ended up traveling a lot, probably like over an hour a lot of the times when we'd go out to dinner, was made with love. Like, no joke, the food was delicious. Like, you could tell that like everything was fresh, everything was
Made with love.
prepared as,
Yeah.
yeah, like it you could feel it, it's so hard to like put into words, um but the trip was just, it was just amazing. For anybody that is looking to, I don't even know whether or not to feel more whole, or even just to like get the spiritual vibe, I highly, highly recommend visiting Bali.
Awesome. Sold me. I'm fascinated.
Yeah.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And it seems like you are so cleansed. Like, obviously, I was following pictures online, people. So definitely follow Parenting with a Punch. But we'll get into your social channels in a minute or so. But if I were to supposed to, if I was interested in meeting with you for the first time for a consultation, how does that work?
So right now, I actually, I haven't. So this will be my first time to the public. Yay! I'm launching a toddler behavior boot camp course, which is pretty much my in-person, um, 2 hours and follow-up calls, handouts, mileage included. But that is for parents that don't need as much intensive, because the programs that I'm currently offering are 3 and 6 month programs, in person and virtual, so online, via Skype, or even just calls if families aren't comfortable doing the video calls. So as far as, I offer 30-minute strategy calls, that you can book online. So that's a great way to get to know me a little bit more, the services that I offer, and to see if we would be a good fit working together. You can book that online at parentingwithapunch.com.
Awesome. And then obviously, of course, share us your social media channels so they can get social with you.
Yes. So my Instagram is also Parenting with a Punch. My business Facebook page is Parenting with a Punch. My Twitter account is Parent with Punch. And my LinkedIn is under my full name, Amanda L.
Woo! Sounds awesome. Everybody's got to get social with Amanda. She has really inspiring stuff she posts. Seriously, I love your Instagram. It's really inspiring.
Thank you.
No problem. It has been such a pleasure to have you today.
Thank you. It was so fun.
Yeah, it was so fun. Oh my God, I loved it. It was a variety of everything, right? It was a lot of fun.
Yes. Last chat with you, girl.
Yeah, always. And we're going to come back next month. So we will keep you updated on the topic for what's next for March. But Amanda, thanks again so much for coming on today. Everybody definitely get social with Parenting with a Punch, and inquiries can be met at parentingwithapunch.com. And stay tuned for who's next on Scene. Thanks so much for tuning in to Next on Scene. Are you next? We want to hear from you. Get in touch with us at getscene@jzsocialenterprises.com. Get social with us at JZ Social Enterprises on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And are you next? Don't forget, we want to hear from you. Stay tuned for who's next on Scene.